Today, we're diving into something that's both deeply personal and universally challenging, navigating disagreement in a way that builds bridges rather than burning them. It's easy to feel burdened by the state of the world these days. The constant flood of information, whether it's from the news, social media, or the people around us, leaves us heavy-hearted and overwhelmed. It's normal to feel this way. In fact, it's part of being human. Throughout history, humans have fought bitter, bloody wars over trivial differences. But today, we have a new battlefield. The endless, heated conversations that happen not just in person but across screens, phones, and forums. Instead of swords and shields, we're wielding words, hoping to change minds and recruit others to our tribe. But let's face it, arguing your point in a bar, around the dinner table, or in the comments section rarely works. You may have the best intentions, believing you're armed with facts and reason, but too often, you're not actually listening to the other person. You're listening to refute, to win, not to understand. And trust me, you're not alone in this. We've all done it. Real listening? It's an art. It requires you to sit with your emotions when someone says something that seems outrageous. It means not immediately jumping to correct or confront, but pausing and being curious instead. True listening is a skill that, while simple to understand, is extremely hard to master. Why? Because most of us don't have that much control over our emotions when we feel our beliefs or social standing are threatened. If you can master this skill, if you can approach disagreement with a calm mind and a sincere desire to understand, you'll find yourself being a much more respected leader, a confident communicator, and someone people actually want to engage with. Think about it. When's the last time you changed your mind about something deeply held just because someone else told you to? Probably not often, right? It takes time, patience, empathy, and here's the kicker, a genuine willingness to be vulnerable. And that's the secret ingredient most people overlook. A story that perfectly illustrates this is the journey of Daryl Davis, an African-American blues musician. For over 30 years, Daryl sought out members of the Ku Klux Klan. He didn't approach them with anger or hatred. He didn't try to shame them or scream at them for their beliefs. Instead, he simply sat down and asked, "Why do you hate me when you don't even know me?" Daryl met with hundreds of Klan members, patiently talking to them, not arguing. He spoke about music, life, and family, topics that slowly revealed their shared humanity. They would argue about race, and Daryl would come armed with facts, but his goal was never to win the debate. It was to understand. Over 3 decades, more than 200 Klan members turned in their robes because of these conversations. It didn't happen overnight. There was no aha moment where their minds flipped. It was a gradual process of breaking down walls, one conversation at a time. That's what real, transformative listening looks like. And it's rare because it's hard. Most of us fall prey to what psychologists call confirmation bias. We seek out information that supports what we already believe and reject what contradicts it. It's not because we're stubborn or mean. It's because our brains are wired this way. It's called the illusory truth effect. The more often we hear something, the more likely we are to believe it's true, even if it's false. Our brains are simply trying to make processing information easier. So when you're in a disagreement, your brain is doing everything it can to protect your beliefs. To break through, you need to actively push against your natural instincts. It takes a conscious effort to let in new information, especially from someone who's not part of your tribe. And here's the kicker. Even if someone does change their mind, it's not celebrated. It's often met with ridicule. They're labeled as weak, a sellout, someone who caved. We make it so hard for people to change, and then we wonder why it almost never happens. The key is to stop trying to win and start trying to understand. What's their story? What experiences shaped their beliefs? What's the fear or the hope that drives them to think this way? When you approach someone with genuine curiosity, seeking their why rather than attacking their what, you're planting a seed. You may not see that seed grow into a new belief right away, or ever, but you've opened a door that wasn't open before. For Daryl Davis, the connection was music. For you, it might be something entirely different. But when you let go of the need to be right and instead look for a shared thread of humanity, you create the only real path to change. So the next time you find yourself in a heated discussion, whether it's with family, friends, or a stranger online, pause. Instead of firing off your well-prepared counterpoint, ask them about their story. Ask what led them to believe what they believe. Be open, be patient, and above all, be willing to listen without trying to fix them. Because that's where true connection happens. And real change? It's not about defeating the other side. It's about building a bridge that brings both sides a little closer together. Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and keep on rising.